Hello and welcome to a webinar where I'm going to be talking about the Protandim family from LifeVantage, where we're going to be looking at anti-aging and ultimate cellular health. I'll be talking about three products, Protandim NRF1, Protandim NRF2 and Protandim NAD, all LifeVantage products. But before I do, I'd like to make a disclaimer that this presentation is for educational purposes only. LifeVantage and its distributors do not claim to diagnose, treat, cure, nor prevent any diseases. Protandim is a nutritional supplement which activates genes. Hello, my name is Gail Pearson. I'm a medical doctor from New Zealand. I am an anaesthetist in a private practice in Auckland, and it is my passion to talk to you tonight about the science of Protandim. So what I'm going to do tonight is to talk about a three-pronged approach to cellular health. And the first prong is the NRF2 prong, the second one is the NRF1 prong, and the third is the NAD. Three different ways, different pathways within the cell to give you maximum cellular health. Why do we need this? Just ask you this question, do you need support for healthy sleep, for aches and pains that you have, for stress, for brain fog or memory loss, lack of concentration, low energy, fatigue, or anti-aging? If you do, please keep watching because this is something that's going to help you hugely. Here's your solution. We want to put all of these three together, the NRF2, the NRF1, and the NAD, to help you as best as we possibly can to be the best you. But before I do that, I'm a scientist, so I want to explain to you on a cellular basis what happens with these products because there is huge scientific backup for all of them. And this is a human cell. As you can see, it's got a nice purple cell wall. It's a schematic diagram, so please excuse the simplicity. But basically, I want you to have a look at this first structure, which is the nucleus. Now, this is where all of the DNA and all of your genes are kept. And the genes are the programs for who you are and what you're going to be and all the things that you've inherited from your parents. The little bean-like structures over there on the right top corner are actually called mitochondria, or mitochondrium for plural. Now, what they do is they are the energy source of a cell. They make ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So those are the ones that drive the cell, give you the energy for the cell. So it's really important that they function well, that they regenerate well, and that they replicate well. We've also got the cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance in the middle of the cell. So those are the three things I'm going to be talking about today when we're talking about the science of Protandim family. And I'm going to be talking about three different ways. The first is with the NRF2 pathway, and it's about reducing oxidative stress. And if you don't know what oxidative stress is, please go and have a look at your Google as soon as we finish this webinar and have a look to see what oxidative stress is, because NRF2 acts to reduce oxidative stress. The NRF1 pathway acts at the mitochondria, the ATP generators of the cell, whereas the NAD, the third component, acts on the sirtuin activation, which again I will talk about a little bit later on. So let's have a look first of all of the NRF2 activation, which counteracts oxidative stress. This is a master gene regulator, and it helps the body detoxify, repair, and rejuvenate its cells. So basically, it's a cleaner. It cleans out the cells to make sure that they're fully functional and that they haven't got any toxins, and actually protects yourself for toxins that are coming in the future. It acts by neutralizing oxygen-free radicals, and we know that oxygen-free radicals damage cells. And cells make up tissues, and tissues make up organs, which make up your body. So NRF2 activation is the building block, and that's where this all started. And this came around in 2003. So this was the flagship product for Protandim, the NRF2 pathway. Huge amount of scientific literature on it. And if you are concerned about the science behind it, please go to pubmed.gov and you'll see all the scientific literature behind it. So what is it made of? Completely natural, milk thistle, turmeric, bacopa, ashwagandha, and green tea. And as I said, it activates the NRF2 pathway, which is responsible for antioxidant production. Now let's have a look at the second part of the jigsaw puzzle and have a look at NRF1, which is for mitochondrial health. Now, NRF1 pathway actually increases the cellular energy, the ATP, in the mitochondria, and so that cells can function to their peak performance and be healthy. We know that the organs that they have the highest workload of the body, for example, the heart and the brain, have the most mitochondria per cell because they have very high energy requirements. Again, all natural, made up of acetyl L-carnitine, quercetin, coenzyme Q10, grape extract, and alpha-lipoic acid. So the NRF1 is responsible for mitochondrial biogenesis. Biogenesis is a fancy medical term for saying that it creates, it maintains, and it replicates normal mitochondria. Now, before I go on to the third part of the jigsaw, I want to talk about calorie restriction because it is pretty much of a buzzword these days. And a lot of people are doing the intermittent fasting, but they don't understand what the intermittent fasting is actually doing. What it's doing is actually stimulating a family of proteins called sirtuins. But to do it properly, you have to reduce your calorie intake by 40 to 50%. And it's very difficult, and it's very difficult to do on a prolonged basis. And when you do it this way, you do run the risk of nutrient deficiency. And it's not a very happy existence when you have to count calories to be this restricted. So how can we do this? How can we stimulate the sirtuin pathway in a different way? Well, let's have a look first of all of what the sirtuins are. They're a family of 7 proteins that regulate cellular health. We've got some in the cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like part of the cell. We've got some in the nucleus, remember, that's where the DNA and the genes are. And we have some in the mitochondria as well. So they are key in overall cell balancing or keeping the cell healthy and well. They also protect telomeres, and they also regulate if you're depleted in your stem cells. But the sirtuins can only function in the presence of a coenzyme which we call NAD. And it's actually important to know that it's not just NAD, it's the ratio of the NAD to the NAD+. Very complicated biochemical reactions, but all you need to know is for this pathway to be activated, we need NAD. The sirtuins, basically, they decline with age. We get less and less as we get older. And as you can see from this graph here, they plummet rather drastically as we age. So we want to be able to increase sirtuin activity so that we can maintain cellular health at its maximum. So how do the two of them work together? As I said, the activation of the pathway requires NAD. Now, NAD itself will double our sirtuin activity within 24 hours. And what will that give you? Increase health, mental focus and clarity, energy, and mood. And here it is, the Protandim NAD. This is new. This has only been brought out last year by the company LifeVantage in 2019. So it's groundbreaking, and the results with this NAD are nothing short of phenomenal. It improves mental focus and concentration. It'll support a healthy vascular system. It maintains cholesterol in a healthy range and supports positive mood and motivation. So this is the product here on the left, NAD Synergiser. Again, all natural and activates the sirtuin pathway. So what have we got? We've got what we call a Trisynergiser, which is 3 pieces of the jigsaw puzzle coming together to be one and to give you optimal cellular health in 3 different pathways and 3 very effective pathways, but all working together to give you the best results you possibly can. What I want to do now for the scientists of you is I want to have a look specifically at some specific genes in the Trisynergiser. Trisynergiser are the 3 NRF1, NRF2, and the NAD all together. So let's just have a look first of all with the NRF2. Now the red blocks are the NRF2 and the purple blocks are with the Trisynergiser. The first one that says 40 and 73%, that's an antioxidant and a detoxification gene. Now as you can see, NRF2 is pretty good alone, 40% increase, but you put it with the Trisynergiser and we've got 73% increase. And similarly with the HMOX1 gene, which is an inflammatory response gene, On its own, NRF251 with the Trisynergiser, 848% effect. 848% effect. And that's for an inflammatory response gene. So we have the science. So this is the science behind the NRF2. Let's have a look at the science behind NRF1. Yellow is the NRF1, purple is a Trisynergiser. Again, we have substantial differences at different genes which are specific to the NRF1 pathway with the Trisynergiser. 75% to 120%. These are huge amounts of increases when you get all three products together. Let's have a look at the NAD. NAD alone, 12% on two of the NAD recycling genes and the synthesis genes. What happens if we use all three together? Look at the combination of the three when you have got the Trisynergiser on these NAD genes. It's huge, absolutely huge. So these are the scientific backups that we can see at the genetic level. So we have three compounds, remember, NRF2, NAD, and NRF1. Together, as a Trisynergiser, they are acting more than the parts of them individually. And synergizer means synergy, which means it's greater than the equal sum of the parts alone. So I want to just keep it simple for you. So basically the NRF2 is the garbage or the cleanup. That's this one here. The NRF1 increases the power of cells, or gives you the energy from the mitochondria. And then we've got the NAD, and this is like the CEO or the cellular executive officer. It oversees all the critical functions of a cell. So we have got three incredibly good compounds now that we can use, all natural, that are going to give you optimum cellular health with incredible scientific backup. So the thing is, say yes to health and wellness, and say yes today. And please go back to the person that invited you or showed you this webinar, because what I'm trying to do today is giving you an overview. We have a lot of other videos that can give you more in depth. And this is just to give you a taste of what your life can be with these three products. And the exciting thing is that NAD is coming and launching in New Zealand in June 2020. So we're not far off now. And I'm incredibly excited because personally, I found NAD just gives me such incredible mental clarity, brain fog completely gone. I'm going like a little energizer buddy, and it is something that you all should be on. So for health and wellness, try Synergiser. Please get back to the person who invited you this, and thank you for listening.